All right, everyone. You might have seen the interview of Kristi Noem, actually, by CBS News the other day, and now they've gotten such a pounding because they selectively edited it, of course, with regards to some of her contents. We'll get into that and then some other hoaxes as well. They got so pounded that they had to capitulate effectively and come out and say, well, from now on, it'll be just, live or live taped. We're not going to edit anything. We're just going to give you the true skinny. We'll see how that goes. Yeah. Press X to doubt on this one. It had to do actually with Kilmar Garcia, of course. He is an illegal alien in the United States. He has been accused of wife beating, gang banging, trafficking, child porn, all sorts of things under the sun. Now, of course, he's innocent until shown to be guilty, supposedly, under our legal system. It turns out that generally the people that are guilty are the ones that get off, and the people that aren't guilty are the ones that get the book thrown at them. It happens. It's a big problem within our so-called justice system. She was on there and she pointed these things out, but it was edited out from the actual interview. And they complained about it. They're like, well, what the fuck? What gives here? Because one of the most important statements that she was making, which is, this is not some random innocent person who has done nothing else wrong. This is not somebody who simply came to the country illegally and did nothing else and just wanted to live a life. This is somebody who is a hardened criminal, at least allegedly. And of course, those will go through the court system and we'll see what happens. But they edited it out selectively. The legacy media does this all the time. This is not the first time by far that CBS especially has been caught doing this sort of thing. All the other networks do the same thing as well. They'll give debate questions to candidates before the debate is even held, like MSNBC, I believe it was, did for Hillary Clinton. They will chop and screw the interview. They'll try to they did this with Kamala, trying to make her look good. Meanwhile, with Kristi Noem, they're trying to make her look like an idiot, basically, and cutting out one of the most pertinent parts of the interview. If you see the whole version, it's a little bit different now. Here's a list of hoaxes from this particular story, all of which I believe were posted on CBS, actually. This is from Breitbart. Now, keep in mind, some of these, it's like, who cares? Like some of the Israeli stuff. But a hoax is a hoax. It doesn't matter whether you agree with the outcome of the particular reporting. Photo of starving Gaza baby hoax. Turns out that was actually just a malnourished individual. Israeli troops murdered food-seeking Palestinians hoax. Gray area on that particular one, I will admit. It does appear that fire was opened upon a crowd of unarmed individuals. However, they were swarming an aid van and attempting to take everything. So, again, gray area. Trump tariffs will explode prices hoax. That is a hoax. We've seen that. Maryland man hoax. That's, with regards to Garcia. Black newborns much more likely to die if doctors white hoax. That is false. It is a hoax. Elon Musk Nazi salute hoax. Yes, him saying, hi. Yeah, believe it or not, this is not a Nazi salute. You might as well be swearing in somebody for the Eagle Scouts or something like that. I liked that one. That was really funny. Mass hysterectomies performed on immigrants hoax. This is, again, another gray area. There were cases of this. In fact, here, a little bit of history for you. The last state to practice hysterectomies for eugenic purposes in the United States, right here in the state of Vermont, where eugenics was also born in the United States in the late 1800s. It's a dark shadow that UVM specifically does not like to talk about very much. I've been in the building where eugenics was actually born. That was the anthropological building in which the concept of eugenics was invented. So this does actually happen. We do have to reckon with the fact that that happens. It's not on a planned massive scale. The all-white Trump party hoax. That never happened. It also was never widely reported on because it was so obviously false that they didn't bother with that one. Springfield bomb threat hoax. Yes, indeed. Trump called for Liz Cheney to be executed hoax. Yeah, that was a funny one. He makes a tweet rambling about Liz Cheney, and everyone thinks that he wants her killed and stuff like that. Meanwhile, I noticed that liberal politicians can openly call for the killing of people that are outside of the liberal orthodoxy, and nothing ever happens. There's never even an investigation. I'll find that a little odd. Violent crime down under Biden-Harris hoax. Yeah, that never happened, dude. Maybe underreporting. Arlington Cemetery hoax. Kamala was never America's border czar hoax. Oh, I loved this one. When she began to run for the presidency, they tried to claim, no, she wasn't really border czar. That's not an official position. Yeah, Joe Biden literally tasked, they literally minted the term, and Biden tasked her with border security and in the sense of foreign diplomacy, which she never actually really did, other than one meeting in, what was it, Honduras or Guatemala or one of those Central American countries, to try to establish a safe third party country sort of thing. Other than that, she never did anything, but she was labeled border czar by the liberal media before they realized how bad the border situation would become. All of a sudden, she wasn't anymore. Russia collusion hoax. That may, I mean, we don't need to talk any more about that. Everyone knows that one. Hands up, don't shoot hoax. Yeah, Summer of Love and stuff like that. Jussie Smollett hoax. That was a good one. Yeah, Jussie Smollett. Oh my God. Ku Klux Klan members tried to pour bleach in my face. Oh, it was actually a couple of black dudes from Nigeria that were working with me on the set and had a problem with me. Covington KK Kids hoax. I don't think that I've heard of the latter part of that, actually. Yeah. The Very Fine People hoax. Yeah, when they said that when Trump was praising regular old protesters and counter-protesters to the exclusion of a bunch of communists and Nazis, that he was actually praising the Nazis. That was very, very funny. We've got the 7-hour gap hoax. Actually, I haven't heard of that one, so I'm assuming that that one's not really a problem. Russian bounties hoax. Yes, supposedly the Russians had bounties out on U.S. soldiers. It turned out this was not actually true. Trump trashes troops hoax. Yes, by saying that there were stupid people running the military, obviously he implicated every troop that happened to be serving for the United States of America. Because that's basically what they were insinuating. Well, more than insinuating. Policemen killed at mostly peaceful January 6th protest hoax. Yes, there was no police officer killed that day. But most people still believe that two or three of them ended up getting brained, shot, and died because the legacy media reported that, even though it was literally an absolute objective falsehood. Let's see. Rittenhouse hoax. Oh yeah, Kyle Rittenhouse. Terrible person. I have to say his PR after the fact wasn't necessarily as good as maybe Nick Sandman's, but at the same time, he was found not guilty. But they still claim that he's a domestic terrorist. Eating while black hoax. Yes. Apparently, if you're black, not only can you not get an ID that would allow you to vote, but you're also incapable of ordering food. This appears to be a continuous thing among liberals. I don't even fully understand it at this point. I mean, I get confused all the time with the news cycle. Let's see. Border agents whipping illegals hoax. You'll remember when the Haitian illegals were going across the border illegally, and agents tried to dissuade them from doing so and tried to get them back across the river. And they have, of course, bridles and they have ropes on the horses because they're horse mounted. You can't take a vehicle down off that ledge safely, so they have to use horses in some cases. They're actually very, very useful animals. Thank you, equestrian things out there. But uh, all they were doing was holding, the bridles and stuff like that. And people were saying, "Oh my God, they're whipping the Haitians. They hate black people." NASCAR noose hoax. You'll remember that where you had the garage pull string and somebody complained and said, "Oh my God, somebody strung a noose up on my garage. Obviously, it's a white supremacist and they want to kill me." This was taken seriously by these morons. And you can go on down. There's many more. The koi fish hoax, the time when they claimed that Donald Trump was breaching diplomatic decorum and poisoning a bunch of koi fish even though he was following standard protocol, as anyone who knows anything about Japanese culture would understand. Unfortunately, 99% of people do not. Oh, yeah, and the time that he supposedly told people to, drink bleach and things like that. It's just a huge laundry list. Here's the thing, though. I do not believe that CBS is being authentic when it says it's going to cut out this sort of behavior, because it's not. Quite clearly, they've said before, "Oh, we're going to do better." You're not going to do better. You're legacy media. You're there to lie to people. Your whole goal is to make money and to mislead people into believing a consensus of reality that you claim is universally accepted and therefore orthodox, but it's not actually real at all. This is nothing more than the same kind of propaganda that you get from any authoritarian movement. You got it from the Soviets. You got it from the Nazis. You got it from communist China. Well, you get it from China now too, but you understand. East Germany with the Stasi, the KGB, groups like that. You get this kind of propaganda from Canada with regards to some of the political machinations not long ago, actually, up there when you had the trucker protests and things like that. All these violent domestic terrorists, they're running people down and stuff. The tractor protests in the Netherlands. Well, the only real act of violence that I saw, that was recorded at least during the tractor protests that the government decried as violent, insane, far right-wing extremists, the only act of violence I saw was when some kid was driving a tractor and just rolling out, and some police officer randomly opened fire on them. Yeah, yeah, the consensus reality is usually not actually the real reality at all. Usually it's a pile of bullshit, let's put it that way. And CBS is one of the groups that is promulgating that bullshit false reality. I mean, all of them do. Fox, CBS, NBC, what used to be MSNBC, nobody even remembers what their new moniker is because nobody cares. The Guardian, the New York Times, and so forth. They're all there to spread misinformation and make money by clickbait. That's the only reason they exist. Engaging in clickbaiting is something that I find detestable and refuse to engage in. I notice that some content creators do not have such a holdup with regards to making ill-gotten gains. Whatever. It's all good. It's still infotainment, so it's still better than what you get from the legacy media, even from the most vapid independent content creator, by the way. Tune out CBS. Let them rot. Don't pay any attention to them. I'm only talking about them because this is just so far beyond the pale that I had no choice but to cover it because it's just so fucking blatant. This is about all. Peace out.